Hello and welcome to this. There's going to be the first Yuki talk, I think. This is a virtual gathering that we are making to introduce you guys that are listening and watching to us on YouTube and all the social platforms about this game, Yuki, a VR roguelike bullet hell mix. We are very happy that this is a very important day here on Árvore today. For you that don't know us, we are a Brazilian producer and developer of games. If you're watching this on the launch, on the debut of this video, today is the 22nd of July 2021. The game Yuki releases for the world. So we decided to gather everyone to talk about how it was to produce this world, this lore, all the world building and the development of everything. So I think it's nice for us to introduce ourselves, since you guys probably are playing the game already, but you don't know the faces and the names behind it. I'm Freddy. I'm the community manager and the social media responsible for Árvore in general, and I worked in Yuki too since I started working here at Árvore.
Hi everyone, I'm Tello. I'm the interface designer.
My name is Eduardo. I'm the narrative designer at Árvore.
Hello, I'm Zayas, game designer on Árvore.
Hello, I am Juliana and I am the QA.
My name is Kako and I work as a production designer at Árvore, and I'm also the creative director of Yuki.
Hello everyone, my name is Kleber and I am a lead QA tester at Árvore.
Diego Machado here, I'm QA.
Hi, I'm Matias. I'm a game dev and programmer here at Árvore.
Hi, I am Pedro Câmara. I am the lead game designer. I also work on Pixel 95.
My name is Roberto Plinio and I am a gameplay developer.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm a producer.
So this is some of the people behind the game. We are a Brazilian studio that produces VR. So keep that in mind, that English is not our mother language. So sometimes we can have some slips and slopes. We can babble some things and we can make little mistakes when we talk, but I think everything is going to be comprehended by you guys. Now, if you look at your screen, you start watching the gameplay itself. This guy you're seeing here, it's Tello. He introduced himself. You'll be able to watch him playing it and having an idea of how you will be doing when you're playing Yuki 2. We said that this is a VR mix. It's a mix of bullet hell and also roguelike. There are two very different styles. I mean, when I start working here at Árvore, it was kind of strange for me to picture these mixtures of genders working on a game. When I take Yuki to play the first time, it was very clear and very organic how the styles mix together and work very well in a pleasant experience.
The idea of mixing those both genres comes from the history of Yuki. The first prototype of Yuki was created in 2018. It came from an idea of what would be like a bullet hell in VR. So we made this first prototype, which was a very simple idea of like a wave shooter where we had other spaceships shooting at you, but it was a very simple prototype. By 2019, when we started developing the location-based version of Yuki, we started with the idea that we wanted more mobility. We wanted to explore spatial awareness of the player, but it was still a bullet hell game, just this aspect that we have today. By the end of this year, the 2019, Ricardo, our CEO, asked me to plan the home version. What would be like Yuki as a home version game? And the first thing that I that I put on paper was that I wanted a game that could be very expandable. You could build up like contents in every aspect of it. But a bullet hell take us so far. So by this time, we started playing with the idea of adding this like aspects to it. And I think Pedro and Isa can explain more about it better than I, but it was at this point that we realized that we would benefit a lot if we mix this both genres. I know it's a bit crazy, both genres are pretty difficult by themselves, but I think we made Yuki in a way that we could balance both a game that would fit like to casual players and experienced players as well.
Yeah, one thing that is nice to comment here is that even though it's a mixture of two very difficult genres of games, the whole experience in Yuki is not a pain. I don't know if I can explain it that well, but it's hard. You are supposed to lose sometimes, but it's not awful to lose. You're not gonna be like, oh my god, I can't play this game anymore, and take the headset out and start raging about it. No, it's a very compelling game. You will be wanting to come back and play it again. The game encourages you to don't give up and try again and try in a different style, moving your body in a different way. You can chill. That there's not a game that makes you angry. It makes you more engaged in playing.
I think that the balance of it is because Yuki is not actually a roguelike game. It's more of a roguelite. So we tone it down a little bit. It is a pick up and play game with an easy start. It builds up to be a very challenging game at a certain point. It all has to do with the power progression we made, which is very generous. It's not a roguelike, it's a roguelite. So it's a partial perma. It has a partial permadeath. And as I said, the power progression plus the skill progression that the bullet hell aspect of the game brings to you, like the muscle memory that you play with all the speciality, the spatial areas that you play. You have like this power progression that is very generous by the use of power-ups and charms that we'll explain in a bit.
The thing is that we use the best of both worlds, right? I mean, when I think of bullet hell games, I think of arcade games that usually take about half an hour to finish, but you have to memorize every single stage. So a player who memorizes every level in a game like Touhou or Ikaruga or Dodonpachi, whatever, has a great advantage comparing to players who haven't. That we didn't want that in Yuki. By making the game be a roguelike instead of a fixed pattern game, we actually can have the player focus on reacting to whatever is happening in the game. You have to adapt your strategy to that whatever is happening. And every time you play, the game is different. So what it feels like is instead of having, for example, purchased one arcade game, you actually purchase Yuki, which is an infinite amount of games, because every time you play a session of Yuki, everything is going to be different. You're going to face different patterns, different formations of enemies. You're going to have different weapons, a different arsenal, and you have to adapt to that. So I think by mixing both genres, we actually bring the best of both genres together in a way that it's not too punishing, because it's not about memorizing things. It's about learning how to react to each situation. And I think that's what makes Yuki so special.
Yeah, Yuki game gives you room to explore many play styles, and that's part of the fun of the game. We as a group, we have, each one of us has like a favorite build. We were talking earlier today, and there are people that like more aggressive. I myself, I'm more defensive player. There are people that likes to get all the resources as they can, but this is very special. Our take is that if you find your style and it fits you, it fits how your idea of playing is, it will be better for you.
Yeah, I think one of the main things that the game has that helps you not to be so angry when you're playing or feeling that punished when you lose. You at home, you're probably watching the video while listening to us. Just now we had the moment where you can pick some elements that integrate on your gameplay, like the charms and the items and everything. This is a thing, the flow of the game, because when you're talking about a VR game, we have like an extra layer of it.
As long as you play, you gather resources, and when you die, you can expand it on the store to become powerful. As long as you become powerful, you become powerful through learning how to play Yuki. You evolve as a player and as your character.
Yeah, this is part of the muscle memory thing that we were talking earlier, because when you're talking about VR, you have this extra layer of gameplay, like when you're using a joystick, or well, joystick is not the right term. I think I told my age now. It's when you pick up a traditional controller and you have just the buttons and all the things that you learn playing the game, it's one stuff. But when you're talking about VR, you have the actual buttons that you press when you're playing, but you also have your body, your whole body. You can see on the video that Tello start moving in a very calm way, and as soon as the game starts getting harder, he's gonna lose sometimes, and he will learn that he needs to stretch his arm a little bit more, or buy a specific power up and then move his arms in a different way. So it's very engaging to try different ways to play the same stage yet again. Like, I think it's due to the procedural stuff on each stage too.
Body movement was very important for us. It can be related to safety also. When we started working on Yuki, we wanted to do this bullet hell, but also wanted to innovate. And the innovation came when we decided to, we think like what the original games didn't have that we can work on. And we're talking about VR, you have all the environment around you. So we put on all our coins in that aspect. But we still wanted to be truthful to our inspiration. What I wanted to tell you is that since the line, we've been studying how much it costs to the body of the player. There are some games nowadays that push too hard. I'm a 46 years old VR gamer. I know my limits. I know if I if I play too hard, like your arms getting a bit sore, you tire yourself. But since the line, we've been studying this, and also we always wanted to assure you that as much insane this game can get, we built it in a way that everyone can enjoy. We're very careful about locomotion, making sure every step the players won't feel any dizziness. And regarding movements, we wanted every kind of gamer to be able to enjoy it, from casual to experienced players, and younger and older. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes I get pretty beaten after a VR session. And to achieve this goal, we focused on how to balance movements with a constant variation of obstacles and enemy formations, so you can enjoy your experience longer and with this low impact. I think it's all about knowing the pacing of the experience, when to push and when to make everyone relax and breathe. We want you to move around, we want you to dodge and duck after every obstacles, but we also want you to not hurt yourself.
Yeah, it's nice to point out we did extensive testing during the production, right? We're very proud of our testers. Because of that, we could adjust the game the better we could think of. That's why we have an extensive tutorial at the beginning, for example, because we figured out people didn't understand how to play. So we were very careful, and we are very happy with the final result and also our community merit.
Yeah, by the way, a big shout out to all our testers that are on our Discord server. If you are watching this or listening to this and you're not part of our Discord server yet, somewhere in this video is going to pop a QR code that you can scan and then enter on our community. It's a very nice place to be and help us to deliver the best games we can for you guys to experience.
I think that one important thing about the tutorial that Rebecca was talking about is that at the same time that we made the tutorial so that the player can learn how to play the game, since Yuki is a bullet hell and it's a very fast-paced game, we don't have a lot of time to show the story to the players. So we decided to use the tutorial as a entryway to the universe. So at the same time that you are learning about how to play the game, you're learning about the universe as well. Actually, you're introduced to the main character in the bedroom, but then once you grab Yuki, you enter the imagination of a kid, which is the core fantasy of the game. And then you are introduced to the main character and her sidekick, Pod. And then you find out what this universe is about and what you have to do. So basically, Yuki is a space ranger, and she's fighting against the Ocalians, who are these evil creatures that are trying to steal the universe's creative force, which we call creative drive. And it's your job to not let them do it, because if they do it, they're going to use it to destroy the universe. And Yuki is the space ranger. She needs to protect it.
This is an element that is very nice about the game. All this environment on the core fantasy, that no one here is immune to this. Everyone at a moment at their lives were this kid that took a toy and an action figure or a car, and start wondering how it would be to be inside this fantasy world. We are introduced to this character. We have this layer before Yuki that you are a character that is a fan of an anime, a fan of this cartoon, and you are very engaged to this. So we can see this, especially when we are in the store. We have the sci-fi elements, the panels and everything, but you also have some elements of the room because you are in this universe, but only inside your head. Actually, you are in your room playing, and everyone did this. I mean, I was this kid once, and nowadays I'm a 30-something-year-old man, and I have lots of action figures and toys, and when I look at them, sometimes I wonder, oh, okay, I have this bunch of toys, but I don't allow myself to take them and play and use my imagination like I used to. And when you pick up your headset and play Yuki, you went back to this moment in your life. You allow yourself again to be this kid that takes a toy and imagine this huge world.
I wanted to point out that there's different kind of control schemes plays out in the game, like the use of your hand as a main character gave us room to explore the area around the player, coming up with different ways to make them move around and dodge with this, like I said, the lower impact to the body, but still making players reach all directions. The thing is, you don't have to worry about your head, you don't have to worry about your body being hit, just keep your toy safe and go save the universe. That's the idea.
I think that allowed us to make probably the first actual 3D shooter that I ever played. Usually when you play games like Star Fox, like pancake games, non-VR games that you play on a TV, everything has to make sense for a non-stereoscopic camera, you know? All obstacles, they have to be very flat, and everything that happens in the screen has to be very flat, so a person who is not in VR can understand the depth of everything that is going on the screen. And when we make use of VR and make your character the hand and not your head, you can see all the surroundings of your hand, and you can see it in 3D. If you move your head, for example, and this allows us to make unique patterns, unique volumes, unique opportunities for level design. There are obstacles that make a lot of use of that. We also try to make the bullet patterns, especially if you go to the latest stages in the game, because in this video, Tello is not going too far yet. But if you get to the later stages, you'll see that the game, all the bullets, they create volumes. It's like they were, I don't know, like energy blankets folding around you, and you have to stay inside of them and not touch the edges. And I think this kind of thing you can't really do if the game was a flat screen game, you know, a pancake game.
And there's a new sense of perspective. I think VR is a different kind of environment from the like you said, like the pancake games. And we worked a lot to allow people to react properly to it from this new angle. And I think it's like you said, you don't have to, we work not on the side to side, but also up and down and front and back. This is very important for us.
And each one has their own way of playing, right? I was thinking while you said that, I don't even look at Yuki while I'm playing. I look ahead and I just move Yuki. I don't really look at her all the time.
You see the pattern and you know where to
I am where the bullets are gonna be when they hit, right?
It's like a fraction of a second you're plan ahead.
Did you know that this is a sign of a pro player? It's true. Like, for example, in fighting games, as you get used to your character, pro players usually don't look at their own character. They only look at their opponent while they play. I think it's kind of the same thing. You have so much awareness of your arms, of your body, of the space around you, that you don't really need to pay attention at it as a game, you know? Mm-hmm. You just feel inserted in that world and you know where your arm is, you know? I think this is a very powerful thing.
It's really cool.
It's moving really your body is natural,
Yeah, it's all about the muscle memory. Yeah.
And we can enjoy all the scenarios.
Yeah.
I think one important aspect of playing Yuki is this feeling that you are becoming a better player every time you play. Like you die and you play again and you feel that you play much better than before. And Yuki is evolving with you too. So this is
That's
amazing
very
feeling.
nice.
Yeah, and then sometimes you think this strategy is not working and you try something different after you die. You know, like, let me try another weapon, let me try another Blade Wing, let me try another setup for Yuki, another combination of power-ups. And you sometimes discover that you are even more powerful using a different strategy that fits yourself better, you know? Or even what Kako was saying earlier about how we want everyone to be able to play Yuki. Sometimes some people think, oh, okay, I'm doing this aggressive play style and it requires me to move a lot and to aim a lot, and I don't want this. So I want to be able to play more calmly and play in a more defensive way. And you can't do this. You just need to choose the right power-ups whenever you open a power capsule.
Yeah, I think this is more of a personal perspective here, but for me it was very funny because the first time I picked the game to play, I tried to be not as lazy as possible, but I said, oh, okay, I can do this sitting. Yeah, I'll not be obliged to stand up and move a lot. I'll do this easily sitting. And when I start losing a lot, I said, okay, no, now I'm gonna stand up and I will beat this game moving as crazy as possible. Yeah, because I don't know, I feel like compelled to, no, okay, this game is so nice. I want to experience it like as corporeal as possible. Yeah, moving the meta as possible, because there are lots of bullet patterns and everything coming in my direction, and like an instinct, I want to stretch my arm or stretch my leg even to stand in one foot sometimes. So I don't know, the game makes me want to move a lot. I don't know if it's just me, but it makes me want not to be sitting.
Wanting to dance.
Yeah, I think there are builds that encourage that. For example, sometimes I can't stand up, so I play the game sit down. And when I do that, I try to find things that will make, for example, if I use a lot of pop freezes or shields, I can focus my strategy in something a little bit different than I would do when I'm standing up. So I think depending on what you're looking for with your run, you can always try different strategies that will work out.
Yeah, but it's like I said before, it's not like when you lose you get angry. You just, at least for me, I just want to play it again, and this time beat it. It's engaging. Yeah, the losing is engaging. Yeah, now we are in this very rich environment. Yuki has this detail building on the game, like everything is so inviting for the eyes. I don't know, you guys, if that's a thing that comes with this lore about it's being the imagination about an anime, but everything, like the scenarios and the enemies, why to go in a very Japanese-ish way on the scenarios, like the huge trees and the monuments?
It all comes down to the core fantasy again. We have this kid that really loves this character from an anime. The traditional culture of Japan played into it already during prototype phase. We didn't want to dive deeper into traditional culture imagery, but it brought us ways to make it more relatable to the players. The idea of working this environment, this colorful environment, comes to the fact that this is a bullet hell. And we knew from the start that telling a story on a bullet hell would be very difficult. Mostly because we wanted to ensure the game pacing, wanted to keep players engaged. So we didn't rely on cutscenes. When we started working on the home version, I studied this artist called Don Carson, and he was an illustrator. Nowadays he works designing park rides. Nice. When he first realized that it will be on rails, I got some concepts that he brought about the revealing of stuff, the revealing of the story. As long as you are going forward, things are coming your way. think about a bullet hell. Every bullet's coming your way. You have obstacles. You're focused. And sometimes, as much intense the game is, we tone it down, give you some time to breathe, and we bring you some story through the environment. Either if it is like you're seeing on the screen, like these buildings and lamps, but also through the music, which was composed by a very dear friend of mine, Diogo. Diogo is a very gifted composer. He's an amazing choir conductor and musician, and he has a great knowledge of music history. And I wanted to bring this depth to Yuki along with our work of the whole scenario and skyboxes. Like I said, we knew from the start that would be a very difficult task to expose a story in Bullet Hell. So Diogo worked with us from the very beginning, building the curve of emotions of each level along with our narrative designer, Edu, our narrative designer, and Marcos, our artist, and Isaías and Pedro, our game designers. The result is such a rich and intricate work. While playing this very intense game, in the corner of your eyes you get a bit of a story. You feel in your chest the music. As you're going forward, you're feeling this mood, this atmosphere. The music helps you flow into the game. Not make you dance, but get into the zone, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the curves allowed us to understand where to place things and where should the game have more enemies, more moments of rest, like Kaku said. Yeah, I think it relies a lot on mood and feelings.
I really feel like dancing sometimes.
Yeah, the level 3
Yeah.
third level. Oh,
Yeah.
Makes you really want to dance.
Yeah.
Now you're just making people that are watching us more anxious to play it because we're not gonna. Yeah, this is the idea. I mean,
That's
is
all about it. That's all about it.
Yeah, this is an invitation for us. Like, you are listening to us talking and babbling about the game and the experiences we had playing it, but this is most of all an invitation for you to pick up your VR headset and try it by yourself, because even though we know a lot about this game, every niche experience playing it, it's different in its own way. The way you play Yuki is not the same way I played, or Tel, or Kaku, or Becca played it. It's another whole universe inside your headset for you.
As Kaku said earlier, Yuki is a roguelite and not a roguelike, which in technical terms, for people who like these genres, if you don't know what it means. A roguelike is a game with many procedural elements. Each time you play, the game is different, but when you die, you start from the beginning. And Yuki actually is a roguelite, which means it has these characteristics, but every time you die and go back to the beginning, you can also change some things about the game. When you are playing the game, you gather this resource, the creative drive, and then when you die, you can use this creative drive to do two different things. This relates a lot to two different kinds of players. You can create new power-ups, and these power-ups are things that will pretty much expand all the possibilities of the gameplay possibilities you have with Yuki. So you start off with a very simple game with a few choices to make while you're playing, and if you spend your creative drive in these power-ups, every time you play, there will be even more options of how to evolve Yuki during her patrols. Pretty much you're making the game more and more strategic. On the other hand, you can also use your creative drive to purchase charms. And those charms are items that will make the player feel that Yuki is stronger at each run. If you purchase a charm, its effect is permanent and will increase Yuki's survivability. So maybe some players won't even purchase any survivability charm, because if you're a pro player, you might be able to finish the game only by purchasing power-ups and creating new strategies. But if you're having a lot of difficulty, you can also make Yuki resist more hits. And charms also make the game become gradually more complex. So here you can see that the player has two different kinds of items to acquire using their creative drive. One of them are the power-ups and the other ones are the charms. When you're playing the game and you stumble upon a power capsule, you can touch it, and then you have a short time to choose between 2 or even more, because you can expand this number as well with permanent upgrades. But you can choose between a few options of ways in which you can make Yuki stronger. Of course, these options are randomized at each run, so you might see things such as making Yuki's life expand, or to make a new drone follow Yuki and shoot missiles, or you can have to choose between extending your shield's duration and making Yuki's fire rate faster.
This all depends on how you're doing during your run. When you prepare yourself acquiring power-ups, you prepare what will appear on these power capsules. And for example, you are on a furthest level and you are still powerful, but you are low on health. So whenever a power capsule appear and there's HP max available, you're going to choose that. But if you have like a high HP, you could choose like to be more aggressive. So this is the beauty of this in the moments decisions that Yuki allows you to have.
And there are combos as well.
Oh yeah, the combos, yeah.
So sometimes, for example, you're in a very late level and you have a charge shot, and your charge shot is super powerful, and then you find something that will make your charge time even faster, which will combo very well with your very powerful charge shot. And sometimes I have to make a choice like, am I going to do this, or am I going to heal Yuki's health?
And the more you know what each power-up and charm can give to you, the more faster you're going to make the decisions. There's the skill progression, but also this strategic part that comes from the power progression. As long as you get more resources, go further, and acquire whatever you want, you feel that was going to help you. Because there's this thing that I find it very good in this kind of mechanic, that whenever you play more and more, you can understand what to buy, what to acquire for the earlier stages of the game, and what you can leave to a further stage of the game. You can play with that. You start the game again, and you can try other ways to build what is going to be available to you during the run.
Yeah, I think that's about it. We are trying not to delve too much into all the aspects that we're talking here. For you there at home that are watching this video or listening to us, have your own experiences without being so spoiled by us. So as soon as you finish this video, go to your favorite VR store. So you can go to Oculus Store, Steam, and in the future, the near future, this year already, Yuki will be available on the PSVR store as well. So another thing that we encourage you guys to do is to go to our Discord server. If you're not a member there, go to our Discord, start talking with everyone that play our games and talk about games in general too, and even become a tester yourself in the near future for the games that are to come, the modes that are to come. For Yuki, this time we had our testers already, they are in the credits, but in the near future we are to make available for everyone the Endless mode. There is going to be a free update for everyone, so we're going to need more and more people testing for us. One thing that we use a lot here at Arvory is that we want to make great games together, so come to our Discord, become a tester, test the Endless mode in the near future, and play it with everyone.
Thank you very much for watching us. In the name of the whole team, we want you to enjoy the game. We want you to enjoy Yuki as much as we did working on it. It will be a great honor to have you as testers, as players. Talk to us at Discord. And again, thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.